Hello. Hello, flamingo flock. I think I'm in the right place. Wouldn't that be funny if I thought I was in the right place but wasn't in the right place? But I'm pretty sure I'm in the right place. I've been up since 4:15 a.m., so there's always a chance that I'm wrong. But I told Ash I would go live. She didn't give me a time, so I think I told her like a week ago that I would go live. Maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know, Ashley. When did I tell you? But here we are. We're going live today because it's end of month and end of year. And tomorrow is the last month. Fastest, slowest year of the entire world. And it's always a good time. I feel like the last day of the month is like a great time to like get a little pumped up. Get a little training from someone, get your blood pumping. And so Ash and I were talking about different things, and we were talking about how it's so easy to get distracted in this business. There's so many people doing so many different things, and if you're like me, it's like squirrel, 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 shiny objects, glitter, sparkle, like rainbow, sunshine. Like there's so many things going on, and it's so easy to get distracted and lose focus, and like not know. Sorry, I'm gonna distract you. My cat likes to eat my tree. It's fake. I don't know what his enjoyment is on it. What did I just say? He doesn't listen to anything except for the shaken bottle. So that's your enjoyment right now, is not being distracted. See? Focus. By my cat. Anyways, it's just so easy to get distracted by all the things. And like, what do I do? How do I do it? What's important? What's not important? And I'm going to come from a perspective. I do not have kids, but I do have crazy cats. And my cats love water. So squirt bottles don't work on my cats. One of my cats gets in the shower with you. He literally asks for you to turn the faucet on. He loves water. And Bert just like licks it off him. He's like, whatever. But this loud noise, pennies in a bottle. Shake it. They hate it. It works every time. So that's my randomness. But I just want to talk about like the importance of focus in business. I'm coming from a place of, like I said, I don't have kids. I do have 2 crazy cats and a fiance, and I have a day job, and I am a director of a team of almost 100. And I started out in my business very hobby level. So for the first 5 years, I did this because it was just enjoyable for me. It was enjoyable to have friends and adults and people who like understood my brain, and it was just the community for me and some extra cash and fueling my own hobby, right? Fueling my own obsession of Scentsy. And then I had a light bulb moment at a Scentsy family reunion. And I'll talk about why I think events are very important. At a Scentsy family reunion, which I've never missed, in my almost 9 years, that I was like, this is actually where I'm supposed to be. And this is the job, right? And went from very hobby level, like every 3 months on the cancellation list hobby level, to being a director in a year. So I just want to talk about, like, it's so easy, and I think it's so easy to use a lot of excuses as well. And so I really wanted to touch on a few things. First I want to talk about the focus of from the aspect of social media and all the things we have access to and all the tools and all the stuff. Okay, so all the stuff, because there's a lot of stuff, and I call it fluff is what I call it to my team, but there's a lot of fluff out there, and it's so easy to be distracted by the 200,000 other consultants and lose focus of your own business and what's important. And I want you to think every time that you start to feel completely distracted, close your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second rule, Mel Robbins. If you don't know that, write it down, go read it, watch the TED Talk. But if you just focus for a second, and is this important to your business? Is this going to benefit your business? And is it income producing? There are a million distractions out there. There's people creating themed boxes and spending crazy money on packaging and have $5 million in stock because they used to do events and we can't do events right now. And there's just some crazy things that go on. And if you're in all of the Scentsy groups, like, you are overloaded with all sorts of fluff and nonsense. Okay. And so I'm going to tell you one thing for focus, except for your team page and like the official Scentsy page, you need to turn off your notifications and unfollow all of those Scentsy pages. They should be tools and not distractions. You can go to any of those pages and search for what you need when you're working your business, but the rest of the time, they are complete distractions. And how many times have you sat down, got into a complete like whirlpool, lost into comments and threads and petty arguments and weird things that have no impact on your business whatsoever because of a Facebook group that you literally don't need to be focusing on, right? Your world will become so much more calm if you literally turn off the notifications for all those groups, unfollow all those groups. You don't need them in your feed either, and use them as a tool instead of something that fills up your time. They're not necessary. I'm just telling you that right now. That flyer group, guess what? Algorithms on social media freaking hate flyers, okay? They don't like them. Things with words on them, they don't like them. It's not part of the good algorithms. And like all of that is a distraction. And you're going to get way more interaction by being yourself, sharing your own images, sharing real life images, sharing your real life, sharing your passion. Like, nobody cares about a flyer. A flyer is an ad. Okay. That's an ad. And then you're a salesperson and nobody likes a salesperson and they're blocking you. I'm just being really like honest and blunt because I do it myself to other people. Like, I want to see you using your product. I want to see what you're warming. I want to see what's going on in your house. I want to see your hot mess. Okay. So like, I want you to be you because there's no other you. And when you start using flyers and using all these things and being repetitive and looking at everyone else and using that as your focus, like, you look like them and everyone looks the same. Like right now, I'm just going to say it. Hate me if you hate me. I'm just going to say it right now. The trend of everybody using the like faceless, you'll know what I'm talking about. The faceless them, like it's like their hair and a face and like glasses if they have them, or like really big eyelashes. And like, it's the like cartoon version of themselves. It's like everyone used Bitmoji for a while. Now they're using this like faceless thing, but like everyone's doing it. Right? One person does it, everyone does it. And so I'm like, oh great, look, 50 people with the exact same like stamp on their business. Guess what's not unique? I'm just being really honest. I want you to be you. I want you to look like you and act like you and talk like you because no one else is you. Okay? And so like, all of that is noise. It's all the faceless pigs creep me out. Literally, they are completely creepy. I'm just gonna be really honest. They creep me out too. So, but like, you know what I mean? See, you all know what I mean. Like, everyone's doing that right now. Like, one person does it, someone copies it, someone copies it, someone copies it. Suddenly we have like 100 people in Scentsy who are well known, who are doing all the same things. And so this is a part of the reason I'm like, shut off the groups, shut off the unfollow the groups, turn off the notifications. They're just noise, and they aren't good to focus on. They're negative. I'm sorry, they're negative crap. I'm just going to be really honest. There's great information there if you are searching for specific information, but mostly it's the people who aren't successfully working their business sitting around patting each other on the back and sitting in the shit. I'm just going to be really honest. And I tell my team all the time, if you sit in the shit, you smell like shit. Nobody wants to hang out with you, and you're frustrated all the time. Don't be that person. Why would you don't want to hang out with those people. You want to hang out with people who help you soar and grow and get you beyond that. Take the crappy day and turn it into a really good day, because they help you come up with solutions for the crappy day, right? And so all of that is it's just noise. It's just noise. I want you to come into your business with focus, as that's the theme of this, with focus. And all that you need to do in this business to be successful, really, really simple. Ready? This is it. Income producing activities. That means PRV, build a team. Build leaders in that team. That's it. PRV means really good customer service, getting orders, having parties. Yes, parties are important, and I don't care what that party looks like, but they are important because that's how your customer base grows. But PRV, build a team. Grow leaders who do the same thing as you. That's it. And if it doesn't fall into those things, it's fluffy and you don't need it. Fluffy just fills in the gaps, and most of us don't have extra time, right? If you have another job, if you have kids, like, you don't have extra time for all that fluffy stuff. And I don't know how any of those people do it either. Most of them are doing the fluffy stuff instead of the income producing stuff. So it looks really great on social media. It looks really great when they're sharing in a group. But in reality, you're not seeing their business, and their business probably doesn't look as shiny and bright as that sharing is. Does that make sense? And so, like, I'm just being like straight honest with you guys. This is all I am. I'm blunt and honest. Like, most of those people, they want you to pat them on the back. They want the recognition, but it's not as shiny behind the scenes as it is sharing with you. And it's really easy to share a whole bunch of stuff on social media and feel like successful and pat yourself on the back and high five yourself. Like, look at what I shared and what I did. But they don't have the PRV. Their team's not growing. It's completely stagnant. They've been in the same spot for ages and ages and ages. And I'm not saying that staying in a title. I've been a director for 2 years, but my team is growing. My customer base grows. Like, the title doesn't mean much. Just being really honest. The title doesn't mean much. Don't chase a title. And Ash, I'm talking to you. No, I'm just kidding. Don't chase a title. One of the best things I ever heard, it was literally the SFR that changed my whole mindset on this business and it being a business for me, and being where I wanted to go, was in a breakout session at Scentsy Family Reunion. Go to events. They are life-changing. I'll come back to that. But I literally was sitting there. I was a superstar consultant who hadn't hit superstar consultant numbers in like 2 years. I wasn't even active yet that month. My team didn't even have 2,000 group wholesale volume in. I was like on the verge. It was like shit or get off the pot moment for me. And I'm sitting in a breakout, and Jason, our head of training, said, okay, somebody tell me what your goal is in this business. What's your goal? And of course, the first person hand shoots up. I want to be a superstar director, right? Like, people, this is what I'm going to say. Again, I'm sorry. I'm going to piss somebody off, but I just know I'm going to make somebody upset with this. If your goal is a title, you won't last in this business. because a title comes and a title goes. It's just a word. And if there aren't actions behind that word and a why behind that word, that title doesn't mean anything. And so, and this is basically what Jason said. He goes, ugh, why do you want to be superstar director? That's dumb. And the whole room was like, like old lady fanning herself in church gasp, right? What in the world do you mean? And he's like, do you know how many people get to superstar director and all they did was chase that title? They chased it and they chased it and they accomplished it. But then they didn't know what to do from there. They didn't know how to maintain it. They didn't know how to grow past it. They didn't know how to keep expanding beyond it. They didn't know how to set a why. And their why was hitting a word. And beyond that, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to keep building leaders. They didn't know how to keep building PRV. They didn't know how to keep growing. And so they hit it once and never hit it again. And we have a lot, like, just straight honesty, there are a lot of superstar directors with the title who haven't hit superstar director numbers in years. Or they hit it only in the fall. Just because it just happens that that's our busy time of year, right? And they're just coasting along and they don't really know what they're doing. And quite frankly, a lot of them are grumpy about it because people come in and they do amazing things and they have a why and a purpose for hitting that title. Okay. So the title is great, but unless there is a why and a purpose for why you're here and why you keep going day in and day out, whether it sucks or it's great, unless you have actionable items that are income producing, you know how to get PRV, you know how to grow your customer base, you know how to take care of that customer base, you know how to build a team, you know how to teach your team to do those same things. Like, unless you're doing the actions that get you to each title, and those actions never change. The actions are the same that get you from lead to star to superstar to director to star director to superstar director. It is the exact same thing. So don't ever hit a title and go, oh, what do I do now that I'm at this title? You do the same thing at each title as you did at the title before. Your business, aside from changing for like the time period or like a social media thing or like things change in that regard, but the basics are exactly the same no matter what your title is. So never hit a title and go, I don't know how to be this title. Yeah, you do. That title doesn't matter. The stuff you do for each title is identical. The basis for each title, exactly the same. And here's another thing. When you do come up with things in your business that work for you, like, keep them going. But if they stop working for you, here is your permission to regroup, change it, fix it, eliminate it entirely. Things that work for me may not work for you. So if you're watching one of my training videos and you're like, oh, cool, go and try it. If it doesn't work for you, big deal. Big deal. And that's another thing. Like, we see things and we're like, oh, that's really cool. Guess what? It may not work for you, and that's okay. You're not me and I'm not you, and things that work for each of us might not work for the other, and that's all right. But give yourself permission to change your focus and go with something else that does work for you. And what works for you now may not work for you next year. What works for you yesterday may not work for you tomorrow. Like, there's a lot of flexibility that has to happen here. So taking your focus and making sure not only is it on the important things to keep your business running, but also to make sure that you're giving yourself permission to flex and bend with the way our business is. Our business literally grows and changes and flexes in all the time. This business 9 years ago when I started is entirely different than it is today. Like, entirely different. Workstation looks different. Website looks different. We have way more flexibility now. There's way more training. There's all sorts of things that just did not even exist when I started 9 years ago. So, like, you have to be willing to flex and be flexible to keep your business successful and sustainable over time. The other thing I would say is really coming up with office hours. That will help you focus immensely. And I'm not saying, oh, it doesn't have to be like rigid. Like, oh, I'm working 8 to 5 every day. Okay, if you can do that, good for you. That's fine. That's your office hours. But for some people, that's not the case. I have a day job, like I said. I get up very early. I get up at 4:15 in the morning, go to work have to be at work at 5:30, so that I'm intentionally, depending on the day, off by noon or 2, so that I can spend the afternoon working this business, and I can then be done by the time my fiance's home, so I can have the evening off, unless I'm doing a training, or a coaching call, that kind of thing. Or a party. There's little things I'll give myself leeway for, but that's 15 minutes to an hour. It's not my whole entire evening, right? And it's not every night. But I set my office hours every day. And here's the thing for your focus. There are 0 wax emergencies. 0 wax emergencies. Just in case you missed that. 0 wax emergencies. That means your team, if it's not your time to be working, their question will wait. And guess what? They'll probably go find the answer if you let them hang out for a little bit. Give them 24 hours and then check in on them. Your customer, again, 0 wax emergency. 11 p.m. is not the time for having a conversation about placing an order. You can answer them in the morning. It'll be completely fine, okay? It's just, there's not a wax emergency, and they're not going to run away because you set boundaries. Nobody's running away because you set boundaries. And focus is super important for you to have boundaries. Otherwise, you feel insane and you feel like you're working all the time and you completely burn yourself out. Set some sort of office hours. They can be different every day. It literally doesn't matter. It could be 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. It could be all over the place, but have specific office hours so that when you sit down, this is my Scentsy time to get stuff done. And when you walk away, you're doing other things, okay? And then the other thing. See, Ashley's going to set office hours. Ashley's going to set office hours. I can see it. I'm going to poke her until she does. So, office hours. The other thing is that have a list. So this is a huge thing for me. And I'm not saying on Mondays I do this, on Tuesdays I do this, on Wednesdays I do this. I am not good at that level of rigidity. I am way too squirrel for that. But I do have a list of the things I need to get done each week to keep my business going. I know I need to do my Amy tasks each week. I know I need to check my supplies each week. I know I need to send thank yous each week. I know I need, there are things that I know I need to schedule posts each week. I want to book 2 parties each week. There's things that I want to do to keep my business running that for me are core functions of making sure I feel sane and my business runs. And so I have a list of things that I have to get done. None of the fluff, just the core things that me and my business need to keep growing and to be successful. And then what I do when I sit down at my desk, I literally look at that list and I'm like, where am I starting? Cool. I get something done. I check it off. And if I'm sitting down for 2 hours, I'm getting as much done in that 2 hours as I can, checking stuff off. When I come back to my desk the next day, guess what? I look back at that list, I check some more things off. And my goal at the end of the week is that checklist is done. Not that I do it in a particular order or something on a particular day, because that's not how my schedule works. And if it does work for you, do it. But at least have a list of specific things you need to get done each week, income producing based, and organizing. I have organization stuff on there because if I get unorganized, I literally can't work. I shut down. And procrastination, I said to read 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. I'm not even joking. It is life-changing. But one of the things she talks about, one of the chapters she talks about is procrastination. And that procrastination isn't because you don't want to work or you don't want to get the work done. It's because there's things going on around you, whether it's a mess or something's not organized, or you like literally can't sit at your desk without feeling crazy, or whatever. There's something distracting you and keeping you from being able to do what you actually want to do. It is procrastination is a literal body reaction to the stress and anxiety around you. Does that not blow your mind? As an anxiety person, I have super high anxiety. This year has been not a great year for me in my mental health department, but that blew my, when I listened to that and heard her say that, I was like, well, like, it was like the like glass shattering, like, holy crap, what? Like just like mind blown, because that was literally a life-changing moment for me when I was like, holy crap, she's not joking. Like I started thinking about it and I was like, yeah, when my desk is completely covered with things and sitting down at it feels like a chore, I can't even like look at my list. It doesn't matter how organized that list is or what I know I need to do. It stresses me out. Like if I like, it's really, really, really crazy. And it's a really good one, by the way, 5-second rule. She has a TED talk on it. So that's like less than 15 minutes. And the book is great. It's an easy read. She reads the audiobook, which is phenomenal. She spoke at our SFR in Nashville in 2016. And that was the start of like my massive transformation. But she's like my hero because she literally like changed my whole life and perspective on things. But she reads the audiobook and it's like being in the room with her, and it's fantastic. So if you're into audiobooks, I would highly recommend listening to it, because I literally put it on in my car. Like it's like the thing I listen to in my car. I've listened to it so many times because it's like being in her presence, and it's really great. She's got super good energy. And her YouTube channel is filled with great stuff. So there, that's my spewing Mel Robbins to everybody, because I love it. Atomic Habits is also great. If we're talking about focus, Atomic Habits, amazing. He also spoke at SFR. So, bloop, bloop, bloop. See? Squirrel. But yes, procrastination. So, focused on. See? I have focus problems. Excuse me. Talking too much. I'm going to try to wrap this up, but my brain is like, this is like one of my favorite things to talk about. So, the moral of my story is focus on all the things that are good for you and your business, and make sure that they are the income producing things needed to keep your business growing and thriving. Everything else beyond that is fluff and not important. Okay? So the things to think about. I'm just going to kind of recap things that I'm remembering that I said. Social media. Social media is fluff. It's fluff to scroll. It's fluff to be on. Have a plan. If you want to work your business on social media, have a plan for it. Make it intentional. When you're either schedule things, have a plan for sitting down and like what your posts are going to look like. Whatever it is, have a plan for it. Focus when you're on the social media. Don't scroll. Another great thing for social media, it's a really good relationship builder. So if your social media if you can friend your customers and get to know them, like I don't follow consultants. Like I follow some of my team, but most of my friends, but like most consultants I won't follow. And I'll be really honest, I don't friend request or accept friend requests unless we've met in person. No offense. My whole social media is public. So if you want to stalk my social media, I'm Dawn Gets Waxy on everything. It's entirely public. You can stalk my social media all day long. Um, and I'll like interact with you if you comment and things like that. But I do that because I want my social media to be my customers, for the most part, so that I can make sure I know what's going on in their life. Because for me, social media is, I don't get sales really from social media. I use social media as a relationship building tool. So if I'm scrolling Facebook, it's because I'm liking and commenting and interacting with my customers and building relationships. And so that's what I encourage you to do with social media. Turn off the groups, turn off the notifications for them, unfollow them, stop adding that clutter into your life. Make your social media a tool where you share yourself so people get to know you and why you're passionate about Scentsy. Your social media should have Scentsy written all over it. And that, because you should never put a link to your website. Like, none of that should exist in your, like, that's salesy, okay? Make sure your social media is set up where they can go to your profile and see exactly what your website is, exactly how to get to order if they want. But then their attraction to wanting to order is because you posted about laundry day, and you posted about your kids cuddling their buddies, and you posted about cleaning your floor with all-purpose cleaner, and you posted about how awesomely clean your counters are with the counter clean, and how you are warming your favorite wax today, and look at this new warmer I got. Like, be authentically you so that they can go to your profile, see your link, and shop. Not because you're sharing a flyer or a link or a salesy post. Like, you're not going to win people over that way. I'm just being really honest with my 9 years of experience. I like unfollow people who are like that in their businesses. I'm just going to be really honest. Like, I don't like that. I don't understand that. Like, I'm not attracted to that. If I wanted to like deal with a salesperson, I'll go to the store, like, and deal with it there. Like, I want to support somebody who is authentic and genuine and showing me why they and their family are passionate about what they're doing. Just being really blunt. So social media as a tool that will help you focus. The other thing is set office hours, no matter what they are, set them and live by them. 2, there's no wax emergency for customers or team. 3, 4, whatever I'm on. Create a list of things that have to be done in your business every week. To 1, make sure you stay sane, and 2, make sure you stay organized, and 3, that are income producing. Everything else is fluff and you don't need to do it. It is okay to bare bones your business. It is okay to bare bones your business. This business should not be, sorry, I'm clicking. This business should not be something that stresses you out. It should not be something that gives you grief. It should not be something you come to despise or hate or feel burnt out by. If you're getting to those points, you're missing something in the focus cycle. Something's disorganized, something needs attention to bring you back. And so I just want you to like literally sit down and focus. And December is like my month to set myself up for the next year. So this is a really good time to be talking about this, because like December tends to be front of the month heavy, and then you can kind of adjust your sales. You don't have to completely do a 180, but adjust the sales to head in the direction you want your business to go. And focus is totally all about you. And here's another thing. This is my thing I'll leave you with. It is perfectly okay. Ready? It is perfectly okay to fire a customer. It is perfectly okay to change direction. It's perfectly okay to change your goals. It's perfectly okay that this year looks different than last year and next year will look different than this year. Like, this business is ever evolving. No one owes anyone anything in this business. You are an independent consultant, okay? And I think it's really important for people to realize, like, your business is your business. It does not and will not look like anybody else's. It will not and does not act like anybody else's. And as long as you're following the compliance rules, peace be with you. Do whatever you want. Like, protect your peace and do what you want. As long as you are following the compliance rules, it literally does not matter what your business looks like. And like, give yourself permission to be the person who doesn't have all the fluff, who doesn't have all the things, who doesn't do 50 million whiff boxes every month, who doesn't, like, it's okay. It's okay. And I think sometimes we, like, again, see all those people, like I said, you see all those people doing all those things, which is why I want you to leave the groups, or turn them off. But you see the people doing all the things and it's like, oh God, I got to do all the things. No, you do not and should not do all the things. If you are doing all the things, you are not doing the things that are probably the most important to your business. And you're probably stressed AF. And so just breathe. Just breathe. And so focus, super important to your business. But focus on it in the way that works for you. And I think that's all I have for you. And that was probably way longer than it needed to be, but I feel like it was good content. So right now, everybody, deep breath in, deep breath out. We're heading into December. You're closing end of month tonight. You're going to be awesome. Go get more sales. There's always room for more sales. The month's not over till you say it's over. So there's always room for more sales. And start tomorrow out. It's a fresh month. We all start back at 0 every month, no matter what your title is, which again is why titles just don't matter. And have a really good December. Make sure you front load that December. Make sure not to stop working in December. Just because there's a shipping deadline for Christmas doesn't mean the month is over. Okay? People forget that. People will still buy things, especially this year. People are celebrating long distance. People aren't going to be in each other's presence as much. People will be shipping things later, like having things in January. Like, you can keep working all month long, even though there's a Christmas deadline for shipping. Okay. But go kick butt. Finish out November strong. Get ready for December. It's going to be great. There's a lot of good things coming. Promise you that. And thanks for letting me talk your ear off. And happy Monday. Have a great week.